Hello guys, here I finally made it my favorite brewery in Asheville. This is Highland Brewery. We are working, yep, we are working, you were recording right here from the mothership. The mothership came to call and I cheated because I'm not going to do a review. I am actually having the Mocha Stout, which is, you guys have seen that review. If you haven't, then check it out. Somewhere around here, it should be showing up right now. But, I have reviewed their, and I've reviewed their Rising Haze. I've reviewed their Vacation IPA. I've reviewed their AVL IPA. Their Gaelic Ale, which is the one that started it all. That was their first beer. So I reviewed a lot of Highland Brewery beers because I love Highland Brewery. So I came here because I can no longer find Black Mocha Stout where I live in Florida. So I came to have this one. However, they have a new one out. It's kind of like a Witbier, and it's called their Starchaser, and they describe it as a citrus spicy beer. So check it out. Color, clarity, and carbonation, right? So very, very pale straw color, very clear, and lots of carbonation. This was poured like more than 5 minutes ago, and I still see a lot of bubbles. Oh wow, this is definitely coriander and bananas. I mean, like true, kind of like a true Belgian wheat beer, absolutely here. Check it out. They have nonic pints here where they pour their beers in. Yeah, lots of that whole, even like orange peel kind of aromas. Oh yes, that's a great true Belgian wheat beer. Oh yes, there it is. So, a little bit of, kind of like that ale sweetness at the tip of the tongue. Then you feel a lot of the coriander. Actually, the coriander is more on the back, but that the big malty body in the middle of the palate with that kind of like the banana and sweet flavors there. And then yes, the flavor does linger a little bit. The banana does linger a little bit, but you can definitely feel a little bit of that spice towards the end of the palate. Great, another great one. I've never had that Starchaser before, and that's a good one. So here I am, finally made it to Highland, and I am excited to be here. This is definitely my favorite brewery here in Asheville, and lots of great beer. So if you want to look like a connoisseur, if you ever make it out here, or maybe put it into one of the trips that it's going to be in your bucket list, because Asheville is the place. All right, well, it turns out that I lied to you. So I'm still here at Highland, and I'm going to do a review, a taste here. And what I did is I went out and I found out that they can give you some custom flights here, which is another great reason why I recommend you guys coming down here. So I'm going to start with their, it's called a Till It Shines Pale Ale. And it's a pale ale, so look at that. Color, clarity, and carbonation. Pale, it's kind of like a pale yellow, very clear. Some action. Interesting. It actually has aromas similar to a fruit IPA, kind of like tropical fruit there. Yeah, lots of tropical fruit. I'm actually smelling pineapple, mango, papaya there. This is interesting. I was not expecting this on this pale ale. Bitter, but not like, IPA bitter, but definitely slight bitterness at the tip of the tongue. The flavor doesn't follow the nose, so none of the tropical fruit juices are present in the flavor. They're more in the aromas, but not in the flavor. The flavor is actually kind of lacking. It's bitter at the beginning of the tongue, then it actually just continues as a light pale ale, which To be honest with you, with all the great Highland beers that I've tasted, that one is a little bit lacking in body and flavor, but you know, they have some great beers. So check this out. They have only here at their location here in Asheville, they have their barrel aged, you know, list. And so I'm going to go down that list right now because the first one that I have here is called their Thunderstock Porter. It's a Thunderstock, it's a bourbon barrel aged, and I'm looking out there because that's, you know, that's where all the descriptions are. It's a bourbon barrel aged Thunderstruck coffee porter, and this is the first one that I'm tasting. So look at that, it's jet black. It's actually clear. Interesting, yeah. Actually, it does have some carbonation. I still see some bubbles rising from the tip of from the edge of the glass. Interesting. Wow. Yes, you definitely can smell the bourbon. You know, kind of like vanilla scents from those bourbon barrels. Spicy, and then there's a hint of coffee, kind of like espresso, roasted espresso beans underneath, kind of like riding that underneath that aroma. So let's try this one out. Wow. Yeah, that one is complex. It goes down as a normal stout first. So the first sip, it's that, you know, dry stout kind of feeling. But then when it starts opening up, you start getting some of that infusion from the barrels, you know, the vanilla, and then that hint of sweetness from the barrels. And then it actually, you feel the booze, but you feel it way, way late in the taste. So you do feel the heat, but it's way in the back. So you do feel that heat, which is actually a good thing. Sometimes you're, you know, depending on the foods that you're looking to pair it with, that's actually great way to, you know, to use it to pair with some hearty foods. So, oh my God, that's a great coffee porter. Now the next two are stouts, and the next one is called it's called the Bourbon Barrel Aged Black Watch Stout. So it is also jet black. It is clear. Not a lot of action as far as carbonation. Actually, the aromas I'm not getting a lot in terms of the aroma. There's a little bit of some sweet stuff there, almost like caramel, but just that's it. There's not, I cannot smell anything else, to be honest with you here. Okay. It's interesting because the previous one was a porter, and I told you we had like that, you know, the beginning was kind of like a stout. This one doesn't say like a stout at all. It's a lot more milky, syrupy. It's not dry at all, but it doesn't taste like a stout. I am being honest with you guys here. It just tastes like it's very malty, and it has that heavy base of malt character there. And still in the back of the taste, you can still feel that heat from the bourbon barrel. And there's a little bit of sweetness, but this one is actually not as sweet as the previous one when it starts opening up. So this stout is, I would say, it's not as flavory as I expected it with the name, you know, with the bourbon barrel aged, but it's not, you know, it's not coffee or anything like that. It's just a stout, but it's not like a dry stout. It doesn't have a dry end. It's okay, but if you're looking for a stout, this one does not taste like a stout. That's all I'm saying. It tastes more like I don't know, almost like a black, you know, very, very dark ale, but not exactly like a stout. Syrupy. It has that kind of like syrupy feel to it. And the last one here, it's called a Bonbon. So this one is called their Bonbon Barrel Aged. Yeah, bourbon barrel aged Bourbon stout. So again, another barrel aged stout, jet black, clear, and actually this one has some decent carbonation because it's been, it's a while since we poured it, and I still see some bubbles rising on the edge of the glass. So now the aroma on this one lets you know it is a bourbon barrel aged. It does have that vanilla, kind of like bourbony, boozy kind of aroma to it. Malty, yeah, you can definitely smell some of the malts here. So this one does have a little bit more character than the last one. Yeah, that one is good. I like that one a lot better than the previous one. That one has a lot more to the taste. So it does taste like a stout when it starts in the tip of the tongue, and in the middle of the tongue, actually, it's kind of like dark chocolate. It does have a little bit of chocolate in it, and again, the vanilla, the spices from the bourbon barrel, it's present in that middle of the taste, and then the heat comes right in the middle, and it lingers through. So all these 3 beers, you can definitely feel the heat. Actually, these are. The first one I reviewed was the first one of the three barrel age. It's a 10%. It's a 10.4%. That's the Thunderstruck. The Black Watch is a 10.3%, and then this last one, the Bourbon, is 9.1%. So they're all really, lots of alcohol content in them. I call them good night beers. Really, really good. Now, Highland. They do a great job of really hiding that booze in there, so they don't taste boozy, but you do feel that heat. And that's actually a great thing to have, depending on the foods that you want to pair them with. So all of these are great to pair with, some great foods. Actually, I just paired them with some empanadas here, and these were great to kind of like cleanse the palate. They actually have a food truck out here, and they have some Argentinian empanadas with one of them was chicken with some great sauces, and the other one was like meat, like beef, and those were great pairings here. The empanada, they were baked, they were not fried, but it really helped cut through some of the richness of that plate. So these are all great choices here, and again, I am excited to be here at Highland Brewery in Asheville, and so I hope I have helped you increase your beer knowledge as we all continue on this journey of becoming beer connoisseurs. And I encourage you to be on the lookout over the next few days when I release another great beer review video. And until then, enjoy. Woo woo! The crowd is going wild here.